are circulated on time. So we really urge that the Secretariat do everything to ensure that we don't lose the plot and we remain vigilant. Maybe the other point that to be made very, very briefly is that we had taken a decision earlier on, much earlier, that apologies must be in writing, except in exceptional circumstances. I hope we do keep to that as we move into the future. Having done that, we then move on to item 2, apologies. Advocate Pindela.
Thank you very much. The apology of House Chairperson Honorable Ngwenya, and the apology of Honorable
Goranov and Ngwenya. Any other apologies? None. So the apologies are noted. We will then move on to item 4, consideration of the minutes of the meeting of the 22nd of September 2022. We'll start with the corrections. Let's quickly look at page 1. Any corrections on page 1? None. Page 2. Opening apologies, presentation of the agenda, minutes of meeting of the 8th of September 2022, matters arising, consideration of the draft parliamentary program. Any correction? None. Page 3. Page 3. Page 4. Report on select committee president, report on legislation before the NCOP, Parliament's legislative program. Any corrections? None. Last page, page 5. Any corrections? No, none. Thank you very much. Can we have someone moving for adoption of this minutes as a true record of what transpired at our previous meeting?
Honorable Bartlett, I move, Chairperson. Honorable
Bartlett, yes.
MPP second, Chairperson.
So Bartlett moves, and then BB seconds.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So the minutes are so adopted. We'll then move on to matters arising, item 5. Advocate Pindela.
Thank you very much, Chair. On the 23rd of September, we had Women's Charter Report back session, Mpumalanga Province. We then had a constituency period which was scheduled between the 26th of September to the 10th of October. But in between, we had a sitting on the 4th of October 2022, consideration of the report of the Select Committee on Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs on the notice of intervention issued in terms of section 139(1)(c) of the Constitution in the Tsokota Local Municipality, Northwest Province. And on the 11th of October, upon return from the constituency period, we had a ministerial briefing session on scale and impact of the destruction of public property and community facilities, measures to protect public infrastructure and community facilities from vandalism and destruction. And on the 18th of October, we had a sitting, questions to Cluster 2A, social services, basic education and higher education, science and innovation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Secretary to the NCOP. Those are then the matters arise. As indicated there, we seem to have followed up on all the matters and ensured that they're properly completed. But is there any other comment, just in case? There's some issue that's not attended to, as they would say. So that being the case, then we'll move on to item 6, consideration of the draft parliamentary program. And Jadu, Moran.
Molo Salo. Good morning to all the members of programming. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning. Chairperson, the National Council of Province, the 4th term, which is the last term of the 2022 year. This is the 4th term. Chairperson, just to say that in terms of the alignment of the two houses, yesterday the National Council of Provinces have its provincial whips forum, and also the National Assembly have its chief whips forum yesterday, and also it was followed by a political steering committee preparing for the taking parliament to the people. Then today, Chairperson, again on alignment, is that the National Council of Provinces is having its programming, and also the National Assembly is also having its programming today. Then which will be followed by caucus, which is the 20th of October today, and then it will then follow by a plenary, questions to the Deputy President, which will be at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And then Chairperson on Thursday will be, and then Friday the 21st we will have. I want also the chairs and the whips to take note of the committees in terms of amendments of the committees. That today there is a committee, tomorrow, I mean the 21st, will be a committee, joint committee, standing committee on financial management. Then Chairperson, then let me go then to the 25th of October, which will have a plenary hybrid, questions to Cluster 2B, social service, health, social development, and again the chairs whips to take note of the committees. And then on the 26th of October, we will have medium-term budget policy statement lock-up for the finance committee, which will be at 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And then in the afternoon, we then will have the plenary, which will be a hybrid. Which will be in the City Hall, which is the medium-term budget policy statement by the Minister of Finance, which will be on the 26th of October. Then on the 27th of October, 27th of October, we will have a plenary hybrid, which will have the consideration of the reports of the Select Committee on Security and Justice, protocol to the Constitutive Act of African Union relating to the Pan-African Parliament, then ratification of the agreement between the Republic of India, Brazil, and the Republic of South Africa. Then a report on the Select Committee on Finance on the draft amendment of the Schedules 1, 2, and 3 of the Financial Intelligence. Then fourthly is the consideration of the sectoral tiles amendment bill, which is a statement. Then debate on water infrastructure network. That is on the 27th of October. Again, the whips to take note of the committee's amendments. And then on the 1st of November, Chairperson will be in ministerial session on the resourcing of the police station service and police stations. And then on the 2nd of November will be a provincial whip forum, followed by a NCOP members training on the e-disclosure, which will be visual. And then on the 3rd of November, will be a programming committee again, which will be followed by caucus. And I will have a plenary hybrid, questions to cluster 2C, social service, sports, arts and culture, human settlement, water and sanitation. On the 8th of November, on the 8th of November, ministerial briefing session on township economy. Just to take note here, Chairperson, that this ministerial briefing will start at 10 o'clock, and we will have then the finance committee, which I believe is being approved by the chair of chairs in terms of the consideration of the adoption of the committee's report on revised fiscal framework and revenue proposals, which will start at 9 o'clock, and all other committees will be in the afternoon at 4:30. On the 9th of November, we'll have a plenary at 2 o'clock, which will be hybrid. Consideration of the reports on Select Committee of Appropriations. Then we'll have expenditure and performance of the early childhood development, expenditure and performance of the internal informal settlement, expenditure and performance of the land care program, expenditure and performance of the learners with disabilities. Then will be followed by consideration of the Select Committee on Finance report on the revised fiscal framework. Then will be followed by a debate on the cross-border and transitional crime. That will be on the 3rd of November. I'm sorry, Chair. Sorry, my apology on the 9th of November. And then on the 10th of November, Chairperson will have a caucus in the morning, which will be followed by a plenary, which will be a debate, which will be 2 o'clock. It's a debate. The topic will still be sponsored. We are waiting the information. It's yet not a topic, but the topic will be sponsored soon, which will be on the 10th of November. Then on the 11th of November, Chairperson will be a Women's Charter report back, Free State Province. And then on the 14th of November, that week, 14, 15, 16, 17, up to the 18th of November, will be taking Parliament to the people, which will be in KwaZulu-Natal. The theme of the taking Parliament to the people will be working together to ensure faster improvement in the delivery of services to communities. That will be the theme. And Chair, during that week, also to take note that the Select Committee on Finance will have in the afternoon, after the program of the Taking Parliament to the People in KwaZulu-Natal, consideration of the adoption of committee report on tax administration laws amendment bill, which will be at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. That will be on the 15th of November. Then on the same week, chairperson is also that the finance committee, select committee will also have in the afternoon at 18 hours, National Treasury on the General Laws Amendment Bill, which will also be after the program of the Taking Parliament of the People in KwaZulu-Natal. Then on the last day of the Taking Parliament of the People will be on the 18th of November, will be an annual address by the President of the Republic of South Africa to the National Council of Provinces on the debate, which will be followed by a debate. Then, Chair, on the 21st, which is a Monday, the 21st of November, will be a men's parliament, which will be a parliamentary program of the both houses. Parliamentary of the men's parliament will be on the 21st of November, and also on the 22nd, will be finished on the 22nd of November. On the 22nd of November, Chair, also, the National Council of Provinces will have a plenary hybrid, which will be consideration of the report of the Select Committee on Land Reform, and also a debate on killing of councillors. That will be on the 22nd of November. Then on the 21st of November, Chair, the Select Committee on Appropriations will have a consideration of the negotiating mandate, Division of Revenue Amendment Bill. And on the 22nd of November will be the consideration of the final mandate and report on the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill. That will be the 22nd. Then on the 23rd of November, provincial whips, and then followed by in the afternoon by a plenary hybrid, consideration of the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, and also a debate on the state of municipal infrastructure. That is 23rd November. Then 24th of November will be programming committee, and then also we'll have a joint programming committee, which will be followed by both houses will have programming committees, which will be followed by a joint programming committee, and then which will be followed by caucus, and then policy implementation, legislative review summit, 24th and 25th. Policy implementation, legislative review. Then, Chairperson, at the bottom of the program, on the 27th of November, will be a launch of the 16 days of activism for the violence against women and children, which will be on the 27th of November. 29th November will be a debate on the creation of provincial municipal owned construction companies, which will be 29 November. Then the 1st of December, also here, Chair, to make mention in terms of the alignment of the two houses, that the National Assembly will have the consideration of the report of the Standing Committee on Appropriations, medium-term budget policy statement, and on the National Council of Provinces on that day, on the 1st of December, we'll have a plenary hybrid, which will be questions to the President. I've made mention of the alignment of the two houses, which means on the 6th of December, the National Council of Provinces will have the consideration of the report of Select Committee on Appropriations, Division of Revenue, and consideration of the Adjustment Appropriations Bill. But on the 2nd of November, there will be a Women's Charter report back, which will be in KwaZulu-Natal. Then, Chairperson, on the 6th of December will also be farewell speeches. And then the constituency period of the National Council of Provinces will be 7 to the 15th of December, 2022. The leave period will be on the 19th of December to January 2023. Chairperson, thank you very much. That is the fourth term for the National Council of Provinces. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Njadu. Any comment on the program?
Chairperson,
Yes, Labuskachne.
thank you. Can Honorable Najada just repeat the program for the 9th and the 10th of November? I couldn't hear. Thank you.
Just please repeat
Okay.
what you're just saying now. A
Can
bit louder,
Honorable
a bit slower.
Can Honorable Najada please repeat the program for the 9th and the 10th of November? At that stage, my sound was a little bit down. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Njadu.
Okay, Chairperson, thank you very much. The 9th of November, Chair, will be a plenary hybrid, which will be the consideration of reports on the Select Committee on Appropriations, and we'll also have a expenditure on and performance on early child development, expenditure on performance on the informal settlement, expenditure and performance on land care programs, grant, expenditure on performance of the learners with profound disabilities, then consideration of the Select Committee on Finance report on revised fiscal framework, then a debate on the cross-border and transitional crime. That is the 9th of November. Then the 10th of November, Chair, will be caucus in the morning at 10. Then we'll have a plenary. The plenary, the topic will still be sponsored, which I believe we are waiting for the DA to give us that information. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
Chair.
Honorable Njadu.
Thank you, Chair. And then I just want to ask about one thing on the 9th. I think it's a typo. I just need to confirm the debate on cross-border, and then it says transitional crime. Now that's something totally different to the next sentence that says waging a concerted battle against cross-border and transnational crime. Which one is it? I assume it is transnational crime.
Njadu.
Advocate, can you assist? Thank you.
Okay. So you look at it, or are you fine with the way it's worded? Honorable Njadu, are you happy with the wording, or are you going to change the wording?
Chairperson, if I may assist, I suspect it is transnational and it's a typo. And I also, it confirm again when I say we must make sure of the quality of the documents that leave our offices. Because you'll find that there is now and then typing errors that change the whole outlook of whatever you want to say. So I agree with Honorable Labuskachne that I think it should be transnational.
Okay.
And whilst
Thank you.
Whilst I've taken the
Honorable Njadu, look at it, yeah.
We'll look at it,
Whilst I
Chair.
take-
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other comment?
Yes, Chairperson, I've been raising my hand, but
Okay, please
I think
proceed.
let me speak before the Chair of Chairs. There is a program that we are proposing for the Monday, the 21st. I just wanted to explain as to why there is something that will happen on a Monday that is not usually the case in our program. The International Men's Day is on the 18th of November. But because of us taking Parliament to the people in KwaZulu-Natal, we had to request them to move the sectoral parliament of the Men's Parliament program to the Monday, and they agreed. So that is why it is reflected as Monday for the whole day, and then Tuesday half day. And also there is this one on, I think it's policy implementation. It is also a program that we have been planning throughout the year, and it was twice postponed. And we are now actually using the opportunity to make sure that that specific program is being implemented, or the specific event is being implemented as part of the proposed items that was on our program. And I just also want to explain that the reason why we will be going to Free State much later is that on the same day that we were supposed to have the Women's Parliament, the Women's Charter report back on Free State, it is the same day that we had to go to the IPU. And and also the province was not yet totally prepared for us, because what this time around, what we are doing is to bring executive authorities to report to the people on the issues that was previously raised during the review process. So we have to process the reports from the province before we can go back to the province to give the feedback sessions. I just wanted to say this for information. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Nyambi, I see your hands up.
Thanks, Chair. Morning to you and colleagues. It's only one issue, Chair, on the 24th. On the 24th November, the programming of the NCOP is starting at 8 o'clock. The one of the NA is starting at 8:30. Well, there might be nothing wrong with that because two different houses. But the joint one is the one that is an issue, Chair, because it's showing that the NA is starting at 9:30 and ours it's starting at 9, yet it's the same meeting. So if that can be corrected so that it can assist us, because I remember in the past we'll try to finish early only to find that according to their program is showing something different. So it's an issue that has to be aligned and show same thing because it's the same meeting. That is the joint meeting. That's the only issue. Otherwise, I move for the adoption with that correction, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Sean Jadwe has noted the point.
Noted, Chair.
Yes, no, thank you very much. Nyambi is moving that the program be accepted in keeping with the tradition in general. I mean, doesn't mean that there won't be any changes from now going forward. But it's saying we should accept the program as a basis of moving on. Agreed?
Agreed. I'll second it with the corrections, Chairperson, the typo corrections.
Okay, with all the minor corrections. Thank you very much. So Tango seconds. Agreed. Thank you very much. We'll move we'll then move on to item 7. Report on Select Committee business and report on legislation before Select Committee. Nyambi.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we have approved programs and amended programs of committees which have since served before this meeting as ably presented by our programming whip, Honorable Njandu. We have also approved applications by 2 committees, the Select Committee on Quota to conduct oversight visits to Gauteng and Mpumalanga, as well as another one for the Select Committee on Land Reform, Environment and Mineral Resources and Energy to also conduct oversight in Mpumalanga in the next 2 weeks, respectively, as also presented by Honorable Njandu. All of these, Chair, we did mindful of the fact that there will be plenaries which we encourage members to also prioritize. When it comes to budget instrument, there are several budget instruments awaiting referral to the NCOP, 2 fiscal committees as follows. The first one is the Select Committee on Finance, that is the Tax Administration Laws Amendment Bill and the Draft Taxation Law Amendment Bill, the Revised Fiscal Framework and Revenue Proposal. The third one is the Revenue Laws Amendment Bill, as well as the General Laws Amendment Bill. All of these will be finalized in November. Select Committee on Appropriations, Chair. the 2022 MTBPS and propose allocation for the 2023 MTEF, which will be finalized and considered in December, as we have seen in the program that we have adopted now. The Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, the Adjustment Appropriation Bill, and Special Appropriation Bill. Coming to interventions, Chair, the Select Committee on COCTA is considering a total of 13 interventions, notices of interventions, progress reports, extension of interventions, close out reports, withdrawal of interventions in terms of Section 139 and various subsections of the Constitution in various municipalities with 6 provinces, which are as follows: KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Western Cape, Eastern Cape, and Free State. The referral spanned over 4 years, starting from 2019 to 2022. When it comes to international agreements, Chair, there is a total of 6 international agreements, which 4 before the Select Committee on Security and Justice. 2 of these are before the Select Committee on Land Reform, Environment, Mineral Resources, and Energy. Coming to petitions and executive undertakings, Chair, the Select Committee on Petitions and Executive Undertakings still has before it 3 petitions and 23 executive undertakings, all of which are at various stages of completion. The undertakings, some multiple, were made among others by the following ministers and deputy ministers at different times: Minister of Justice and Correctional Service, Minister of Police, Minister of Social Development, Minister of Transport, Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, Minister of Health, Minister of Agriculture, Land and Rural Development, Minister of Public Enterprise, Minister of Forest, Fisheries and the Environment, Deputy Minister of Public Enterprises, Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy. Other matters before committees, Chair and honorable members. There are 8 other matters within the purview of 3 select committees with a referral span of 2019 to 2022 as follows. Is the Select Committee on Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, there are 4 matters. Select Committee on Finance, 3 matters. Select Committee on Security and Justice, only 1 matter. I so table the report, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you very much. And Mr. Bell will deal with the part of the legislation. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you very much. There's the report from Honorable Nyambi. Are there any comments?
Yes,
Any
Chairperson. Honourable Member
observations? Any
Stafford.
words of wisdom? Level Skakne?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honourable Nyambi, for the report. I want to raise the issue on the oversight that has been approved. I don't have a problem with that. I just want to raise the concern that the COCTA, the Select Committee on COCTA's oversight falls also on the time that there's a debate in the House on water and sanitation. That's actually the people forming part of that portfolio. There's also a debate on that. And for the land and that committee, there's oral question sessions in the House. But as Honourable Nyambi said, the members on those committees have to prioritize and decide where they're going to be. I want to refer to the section, the intervention section. And as Honourable Nyambi said now, there are 13 interventions, and these interventions stretch over a period from 2019 to 2022. Now, as an alternative on that committee, I am very interested to know how the committee do their program, because there are issues that came in that should have done a long time ago. And then sometimes we are called for a special meeting because they're running out of their time. We're called for a special meeting to approve Section 139. And then all of a sudden, you know, part of next week's program is they are visiting Tshwane and Johannesburg, that are new things that came in now. So I would really like to know how this is working. And then I know that Mr. Bell is going to do the bills now, but I want to refer back to Honorable Najad, who focused on the alignment between the NA and the NCOP, which is very important. But I really want, again, I raised it yesterday in the WIPS meeting, and the chief whip said that we will look at that, but I really need to raise it here in the programming meeting. With the number of bills, and bills are still coming into the NA, that needs to be processed from now on until the end of this term, which might be anything between May 2024 and August 2024. I can't see how this is going to work. We will have to, between the presiding officers, come to a decision that there is a cutoff date. They can finish their bills in the NA, and they can pass it on to the NCOP, but we in the NCOP will have to make a decision by what date, what are the bills that we will be able to handle. Because as I said yesterday, when it's sections 76 bills, these bills will have to go out to provinces. And provinces might not be doing in a position to do public participations as well as they've done it before in 2024. And that is the kind of bills that's being taken to court. And that is not egg on the face of the provinces, that's egg on the face of the NCOP. So I really, Chairperson, request that we get to a point where we sit down and make a decision and come up with something like, if the bills that's not in the NCOP by the 1st of June or the 1st of July in 2023 will not be dealt with in the NCOP, they will have to be rejuvenated in 2024 after the elections. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Hadebe.
Honorable Chairperson, greetings to yourself and the honorable members. Honorable Chairperson, it's a small inquiry for ease of reference. Just wanted to check if the program that the Honorable Nyambi was presenting was part of the documents that were circulated, because from my part, I couldn't find it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Why don't we then start with Njadu first, and then Nyambi will follow. Honorable Njadu, on the alignment of the program of the National Assembly and that of the NCOP. Njadu?
Okay.
Are you there? Yeah. The alignment, the question on alignment.
Now,
Are you happy with the alignment?
I think
if not, what are the issues and how do we intend to deal with the issues?
Yeah, I think the point made by Honorable Labaskahi was that I focused on the alignment. We are trying at our utmost to align the two programs of the two houses. But in terms of the operational of the National Assembly, their program is sometimes constantly changing, and then the program of the National Council of Provinces is a program that is more stable in terms of not changing regularly. So it may have realignments here and there, but we are trying at our utmost best in terms of trying to align everything that needs to be aligned. So on terms of the committees, Chair, I cannot make a comment on that. On the committees, there are the two House chairs of the two houses. So I believe that they are speaking regularly to each other to make sure that in terms of committees, there are alignment on the two houses. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Njabu.
Chairperson, can I make a proposal? Because the issue that
Uh,
Honorable Labuschagne have raised is a very important issue. But can
On
I
what
make
point, on what point, Lucas?
on the very same point that Honorable Njadu was
Okay,
now
okay,
speaking?
please
Can I make a proposal? And the proposal that I want to make is that the programming whip, together with the chief whip and the chair of chairs, that they should meet with their counterparts in the NA, and that they discuss this issue. Honorable Chairperson, you are aware that some platforms, we receive bills or things just a day or two before. And when the NA is actually asked about it, they will say the NCOP is sitting with this specific bill or whatever it is. So I agree that it's a very important issue, but it shouldn't be handled haphazardly. So I think the responsible people should meet and then come with a proposal as to how this kind of alignment will take place. That is my proposal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so we'll leave it at there. Note the point and urge Njadu to consider all points made and continue to battle and struggle in the direction of ensuring that there's a proper alignment and that if there are differences, that this be kept to an absolute minimum. Thank you very much. We'll proceed to Honorable Nyambi.
Thanks, Chair. Starting with the one of the sitting and what the committee will be doing, as I indicated, at all times we'll always prioritize what is happening in the House, and even if there will be an oversight in any province, members will make it a point that there is no way that at the time they will be doing that oversight, it will be clashing with what will be happening in the House. There are those that will be physically in the House, probably those that are not participating, they can be on the virtual platform. When it comes to the issue of interventions, there are some issues, Chair, as they will always refer to you, that will have some constitutional implications in terms of time frame. That is why we'll be forced to shift around some programs so that we accommodate the relevant select committee. The recent case example that is practical is the one of the Sobotla, the dissolution. And we have to align our program with the 14 days that must not lapse before we deal with that thing. But of course, there are issues when it's just a normal oversight. But even if it's a normal oversight, each and every select committee has got its own management committee, and we have a program that we adopt. Once it's part of the program, then we're going to stick to what is in the program. But it can be, if it's not something that has to do with some issues that are touching some constitutional timeframes, that will shift our program and accommodate the select committee. The last issue, I agree with the Deputy Chair summary that in terms of legislation, we've engaged our counterparts in the NA, and we're very clear and resolute, Chair, that we're not going to just tick the box when it comes to processing legislation, but sitting here now, before we can even get to that item, we're aware that there are some legislations that has to do with some rulings that are coming from the Constitutional Court, like the electoral bill that will be coming to us. But even if it is going to come late, we're not going to just short-circuit the process. We're going to make sure that we do justice to it, so that if it can be taken to court, one found wanting as the National Council of Provinces. Otherwise, some of the issues that we have been tasked to engage our counterparts will do that as per the guide that is coming from Programming Committee. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Just before you leave the platform, Honorable Nyambi, there's a point that has been raised by Honorable Hadeb, and this has to do with circulation of documents. Not very sure whether he has all the documents in his possession and so on. Can you try and assist him?
No, I can assure him, all the members, they do have all the documents. It's just that I'm presenting a summary version of the document that is in the possession of Honorable Hadebe. So I'm just simplifying the document for him instead of going through that thick document that has been given to him. It's having the documents. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Ate, I'm sure you're happy with that.
Not at all, Chair, not at all. Not at
Not
all.
unless, Chair, he wants my summary, then I can always avail my summary to him.
Yeah, can I request the two of you to talk outside the meeting? Yeah, I'm sure you'll find each other.
It's
With
okay.
pleasure, sir, if you are going to also sponsor the tea.
There's plenty of tea in my office. You guys can come here if you have a problem. Cape Town. Thank you very much. We'll then move on to Parliament's legislative program. Item 8. Mr. Bear, please take us through.
Yes, good morning, Chairperson, and thank you. Before I briefly update you on this list, if I may, just an aside about the issue of bills coming or bills being delayed before they come to NCOP. I think the one thing we shouldn't lose sight of is that I don't think the Constitution had this scenario in mind where all the bills were introduced in the National Assembly. It's just that for some other reason, bills don't get introduced in the NCOP first. I know for a fact that there are 3 probably minor reasons that might make it more difficult for a minister to introduce in the NCOP. The one is the advertisement in the Gazette for comment. The second is that the minister must find a select committee to introduce on behalf of the minister, because the minister is not allowed to introduce directly. And the thirdly, which is almost absurd, is that in the unlikely event of a dispute between the 2 houses, that the bill will be rejected. So I don't think one should give up on that possibility. It's a matter of changing minds, and the more bills we can have introduced in the NCOP, the better. Chairperson, then if I just may briefly on bills before Parliament, the item A8, the electoral amendment bill will be passed in NA today, and then will be sent to you for concurrence. I know that the select committee has set up meetings, and I think there may even be a date for plenary. So at the moment, we are working on the second language text of the Act form. So we should be able to get it to the President before the Constitutional Court deadline kicks in. Secondly,
Thank you very much.
Secondly, Chairperson, paragraph D, sectional titles. I've picked up that the bill is to be passed in National Council of Provinces on the 27th of October, and then it will be processed and sent as an act form to the President. Then just lastly, the couple of bills that I've highlighted under paragraph E are all the ones that have been passed in NA and sent to NCOP for concurrence since I think it was 22 September. The money and tax bills that are to be introduced next Wednesday in the National Assembly, I think those are all catered for in terms of programs by both houses. So we don't foresee a big problem there. The only thing I did pick up is that the 3 tax bills, the annual tax bills, have not been included in the program for consideration by the House yet. So maybe that could also have to happen on 6 December. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. There's the report Any comment? Any comment? Going, gone. Thank you very much. The next item is closure. So as we close the meeting, I wish all of you well in the work that is being done. I'm sure we'll redouble our efforts and ensure that we do well in the remaining few weeks, so that come the closing date, the last day of our farewell speeches and so on, when we look back, we should be able to say we have indeed accomplished the work and the tasks that we would have set for ourselves during this period. Thank you very much. Until we meet again.
Siyabulela Sal.
Siyabulela. Bye, thank you.